Welcome back. This is our second to last lesson. Yay! The last day will be on Tuesday, and that's going to be the last review or study guide for your quiz. And then the quiz is Thursday, and you're all done. So you're really almost there. So it says to identify which of the graphs are proportional, explain why or why not. So looking at A, the answer on this is going to be no. And the reason for that is because the graph is not linear. So it does go through the origin, but it's not linear. So that's going to make that a no. On your quiz, this is going to look more like multiple choice, and it's going to ask you to select the one that is. So making sure when you're practicing that you know the two things that are required would be really helpful. So looking at B, it is linear, and it does start at the origin, so that means that this one is yes. So the graph is linear and goes through the origin. Or you can say as a line if you want to. You don't need to say straight line because a line by definition has to be straight. Okay, so moving on to C. It is linear, but where does this one start? That's right, it starts up here. So this one's going to be no. The graph does not go through the origin. Or you can say does not start at the origin. On D, when we look at D, it's also linear, but it also doesn't start at the origin. So this one's going to be no. The graph does not start at the origin. Okay, so there are going to be a couple questions that look like that on the quiz. And then there'll be ones that are coming up on the next page. I wanted these to all be together. So this one says identify which of the tables are proportional. So remember, for a table to be proportional, you need to always be multiplying by the same number. So on the first one, we can't really tell with the 0, 0, but we can tell with the 2. So 1 times 2 is going to give us 2. We know that 0 times 2 also gives us 0. So far so good. 3 times 2 does actually equal 6. 5 times 2 does not equal 8. So as soon as we get there, we can say no. And you can say you need to multiply by different numbers. Okay, so looking at the second one, again, we can't really start with the 0, although there is something going on with the 0 there that would give you a hint. So let's start at this one. We have 1 times 10 gives us 10, but 0 times 10 does not give us 5. So we do not need to go through the rest of the table. We can say no. 0 times 10 is not 5. So those are two different types of explanations, but both are equally valid. The first one is looking at a more general idea, and then the second one is actually giving an example, just saying 0 times 10 is not 5. Okay, looking at this bottom one, 1 times 7 does give us 7. 0 times 7 gives us 0. 2 times 7 does give us 14. 3 times 7 does not give us 24. It should be 21. So we can say no. 3 times 7 is not 24. And that's it.